Hey guys, it's your favorite Dinobot here, and obviously, as you can see, I got this beauty. Tame 3 of them, just in case I did something stupid and lost one of my males. So yeah, this is my female. This is Lenora. She's a beautiful one, ain't she? I love the purple coloration on her. I love the versatility with these creatures' colorations here, especially the head crest and wings and stuff there. It just feels overall great. I might get these guys for every map. I don't know. They seem like they're pretty useful. But today we're going to have to compare it to the Cryodrakon, and well, let's start off with its basic stats. Or well, let's start off with the taming method first. The Cryodrakon is a knockout tame. However, I recommend that you actually trap it. You see, the reason why I say recommend that you actually trap it is because this creature actually has a much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Escape box. It has a much higher escape box than a wyvern. So if you are going to use a wyvern like trap to tame it, for the love of God, if you are on scorched earth, do not use a wyvern to knockout tame it. That thing will clip your wyvern down to 2% in little more than 2 hits. I'm not joking. These guys are absolutely ferocious. They're powerful flyers. Like they're essentially the gigas of the skies, okay? So what I recommend here is that also you're gonna need Alpha Carrion. That'll be in its own category altogether here. I mean, Alpha Carrion, you can honestly just like spawn it in, believe it or not. And apparently you can eat it. Yeah, I'm just saying you can actually eat it and actually fill yourself up. I'm not sure why. I feel like that's wrong, but technically it's just like its own kibble, I guess. And you're only gonna need, I think, 1 to honestly tame it up, maybe 2. I would recommend maybe just get 2 in all honesty. And the thing about it is, the Cryodrakon is a very interesting flyer when compared to, well, the Cryodrakon, obviously, right? And it really doesn't have any special abilities. It is a very basic dinosaur, or pterosaur, excuse me. I know some of the extras are going to come at me in the comment section. And this creature overall is actually pretty great. Like, I'm not gonna lie there. Now, there are some downsides to it. Number one, the saddle doesn't allow you to shoot weapons off of it, so that is a bad thing. However, the carry ability, which I demonstrated a couple minutes earlier, I guess, actually allows you to drag creatures, and I think they can carry up to a Diplo, if I remember correctly. So they can actually carry a Diplodocus, which will probably be like the max creature they can carry. And you could actually use this to drop creatures in a trap. You can carry Tyrannuses. I'm not sure about Rexes. Probably not. I'm not going to try that. You could definitely carry any baby dinosaurs. So those of you who want to tame things like Meraxuses, yeah, this is your creature to go to. Probably much better than the RG. It has a much higher stamina reserve. Okay, it can take a hit. Like, it's a pretty powerful pterosaur. Like most of the pterosaurs in the game, even the Diurk, who I am going to be making a video on, titling it probably Ark's most versatile flyer, or Ark's best flyer in my opinion here, is definitely going to be I think it's definitely up there. However, the Cryodrakon, or sorry, not the Cryodrakon, the Hatzegopteryx definitely lacks speed here. So we're going to go to my second base here, and just ignore these Bloodstorm Drakes. I'm probably going to get rid of them pretty soon here. And the reason why is simply because I kind of want to focus on the more dinosaur-esque aspect of Ark before I really start getting stuff. You might say, oh, well, but Godzilla Ark is here. Yeah. I wanted him a bit more than I did with the other dragons for right now. So right now I'm just kind of, I'm just kind of trying to reserve my maps to certain aspects right now. I know I have the Galactus Draconis on the center, which, believe it or not, the center was pretty much born for aquatic creatures altogether here. Let's be real here. And in all honesty, I definitely think the sea should be more versatile, and I definitely think Sunken World does thrive off the center, which is why I am building more of an aquatic base than a land base. So yeah, I definitely got some work to do. Definitely going to download the Paranoia mod, and definitely download the Vecti Spinus and give it its own review when it comes out here. But overall, yeah, these creatures, yes, my Maraxes are mainly spawned in ones because, again, I'm not going through all that again, because if you remember my last video, I had these guys previously. I had a full, like, family of them, like 2 females, 1 male, and at least 6 other children from these guys, 3 each. And then Ark just said, we're going to just delete all that, right? Yeah, this game still needs to be fixed, as I do experience crashes on a regular basis here. I'm surprised you guys probably even got this video here. But again, I'm not saying the, Draconic Legends mod is bad. I'm just saying that I am not ready for it just yet. So I may definitely give it some time before I really, decide to, I guess you could say, fully dedicate myself to this dragon-like mod. And I really hope the Sunken World mod does drop its island map pretty soon, so I can just download it. I don't care if I gotta pay for it, because I've been really a big fan of the idea of a whole aquatic island. Plus, again, the blue whale. Like, really, I definitely was going to use that for an oceanic base. Like, come on now. But with that being said here, and I'm just going to level up my creatures here. How do I think it really stacks up to Ark's original flyers? Like the Rhynionatha, the Pteranodon, the Argentavis, characters, or even the Desmodus. I actually would love to see the Desmodus in the game eventually, but I really hope that Ark does it justice. But we all know Fjordor is probably going to be like one of the more twisted maps altogether, right? It's gonna be an interesting one in my opinion. But let's actually finish this, I guess you could say, small remodeling up here, and yeah, let me check a few things first, and we'll really get into it here. Also, I'd like to know what other creatures you guys would like me to give a review on. I'm definitely gonna do the Siamosaurus. I'm also going to do I guess you could say, some of the star creatures as well. I finally got a Razor Fang on my Scorched Earth map, so that one I'm definitely going to be doing if I don't crash a lot. The Enotransivia, I'm definitely going to do one on that one as well, as again, I actually enjoy the creature. Like, I don't know if it's better than a Thyla. I don't really know, because again, most of the creatures on Scorched Earth are pretty much replaced with the modded creatures and stuff here. Not saying I got rid of them, I'm not saying that here, but I'm saying that most of the creatures here are just getting outshined by some of the modded creatures here, except my Spino's the GOAT, forever one of the island's best creatures. But yeah, let's actually talk about this here. The Cryodrakon versus the Hatzegopteryx. Now, in terms of size, obviously the Cryodrakon seems to take it, because it's more of a, I'm not saying an accurate pterosaur depiction here, but it's more of an up-frontal display of what a pterosaur is, or at least in terms of the height and stuff here. So obviously in terms of height, it takes it here. But let's actually talk about the Cryodrakon once again, and the sheer fact that you actually have to build up speed for this guy in order to really, like, take off. You actually have to, like, push yourself off the ground in order to take off here, which is actually not a bad thing, but it's also not a good thing, because again, there are some benefits. I mean, you can use weapons on him or her, whichever one, let's be gender friendly, right? And it still has its ice breath, its ice blast, or its or its sickle blast here. And obviously it can it's a far faster flyer. In my opinion, it is a far faster flyer. Now, its base speed is definitely a lot slower than the Hatzegopteryx. However, I think it actually does have a few ways to make up for it, though. Like, when it actually dives after its prey and stuff there, it's definitely a far more versatile flyer in my opinion. It has a much better long range capabilities. It has a better way of, attacking and, healing itself when it eats smaller creatures and just consuming them whole here, which is again one of the most evil things I could have ever imagined from the prehistoric beast creator. And I just love it here in all honesty. So, it's very interesting. It really is here, because I didn't really expect the Cryodrakon and Hatzegopteryx to really be a comparable thing here. I thought the Hatzegopteryx would kind of just stomp in the department, but really just re-looking, or I guess you could say taking a look back at things here, the Cryodrakon actually has many advantages to itself here. While again, yes, the Hatzegopteryx has a much higher base speed, the Cryodrakon has a much higher, I guess you could say, running speed or sprinting speed here. Then there's also the healing side of the equation. The Cryodrakon only needs a small creature in order to heal, while the Hatzegopteryx needs a whole corpse, probably in the air too. Now again, this does also bring the fact that there are some versatile parts here. The Cryodrakon does not have a higher base damage than the Hatzegopteryx. Excuse me, I almost lost my train of thought there. And then you have the sheer fact that again, all you need to do to heal it is just eat babies with the Cryodrakon or any small sized creature, which gives an advantage in terms of the, I guess you could say, the healing or the health department when it comes to, or basically the abilities part, excuse me, when it comes to the healing aspect here. Now, in the original Ark mod, I think it was the Additional Creatures Wild Ark mod, right? Where there was this giant Hatzegopteryx that also healed itself when it ate corpses, but it also dealt bleeding damage. It was known as the Giga of the Skies. Now, you can actually go to Ark Raptor's page, and I will be giving a link in the comment section to where you could actually watch a taming video for that one. But it was bigger, it was meaner, it was more aggressive, and it was just vicious. Like, you hear that roar, you wouldn't go near it. You wouldn't even bother going towards that area again. At least with a Giga, you have some ways to lure that out to sea and potentially get killed by sharks. But with that thing, oh no. The best you could probably do is get a Harpagornis, which I think should be in the actual game, by the way. And maybe if I got a Harpagornis, that might be a much better flyer than both of these two combined. And I might have to make a video about art creatures that need to be, or wild additional creatures that need to be in Ark Survival Ascended, because there's no reason why wild arcs should be here. But then again, it does have a, it does have way too many creatures to be added to the game, so I can actually understand that. But in Prehistoric Beast does have a select few that it can be incorporated into the game here. So yeah, I can understand why they wouldn't add wild arcs to the game. But back to this here. The Cryodrakon versus the Hatzegopteryx. Well, I would have to say it's honestly a pick your poison. You have the Hatzegopteryx, higher base, higher stamina, higher damage, right? But it's not as fast when it's running and stuff here. Now again, you can get to your places quickly, but obviously, it's not very fast and all together here. And again, it does have that carry ability where you can carry both carnivores and herbivores to your traps of a select size. Because again, let's be real, we still are going to tame some of the original art creatures, even with some of these mods just running around, right? I mean, it does suck when you have a nothing more than an all modded, base and stuff like that there, and then all of a sudden your game crashes and it's all gone. I get it. It sucks. And at least you would still have some of your, basic creatures, right? But again, after all that hard work, it could just disappear just like that. That's the only reason and one of the only issues I have with it. Plus, I do think the mod balancing does need to be a whole lot better here. I mean, some of the creatures can't even correlate with each other, to be honest. But overall, when it comes down to these two and who I think is better, I definitely have to say the Hatzegopteryx definitely has to be better for a higher base stat. But it definitely could use a bit more versatility, while the Cryodrakon is definitely better for a more versatile usage than the Hatzegopteryx. Both are great, don't get me wrong. However, again, the Hatzegopteryx does slightly take it because it has much higher and much better base stats, while you have the Cryodrakon, which actually has higher versatile stats than the Hatzegopteryx. So that's going to be all for today. Please comment down below, like, and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and by the time you see my next video or my next review, it definitely should be for the Meraxes over there. So without further ado, I'll see you guys later, and y'all have a blessed day. Peace.